everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make this simple and very beautiful bracelet. I used a magnetic clasp. Now I will show you how it looks on my hand. Look at this. How pretty is that? If you're interested, keep watching and we will talk about the materials you need for this project. For this project you will need Superduos, and I'm using them in 2 different colors. The size of Superduos is 2.5 by 5 millimeters. You will also need 3 millimeters crystals or pearls. I'm using bicones. You will need a clasp, and I'm using a magnetic one. You will also need a beading needle and a beading thread, and I'm using my favorite Fireline in smoke color. Before we start the project, when you're using Superduos, make sure before using it to check that both holes are unblocked. I had many projects when I actually haven't done it, and then at the end I couldn't just go through my Superduo, and I had to go back and take the Superduo out and do it again and again. It's such a waste of time. So once you work with Superduos, always make sure that the both holes are open. Okay, that's just one little thing. Prepare a thread of comfortable length, and the trick I'm using, I'm not cutting it off from my thread. I'm not having any tail because the project is completely symmetrical, and once we finish our thread, our main thread, we can always carry on it with the tail. Okay, so that's what I'm using in this project. Now let's just talk about some terminology here. We are going to start our project from these inner Superduos, and I'm gonna call them the inner Superduos. If you're using 2 colors of Superduos, then please pay attention to what color you want to use here and what color you want to use on the side of this bracelet. I'm going to call these Superduos inner Superduos, and these Superduos I'm gonna call outer Superduos. And in my project, my inner Superduos are going to be these orange Superduos, and the outer Superduos are going to be bronze Superduos. Okay, so just to make it clear what we start with. Okay, now we're going to work with inner Superduos, and I'm picking up one of my orange Superduo, 3 millimeters crystal or pearl if you're using pearl, and again inner Superduo, right, just like that. Slide them down. Now we're coming out of our top Superduo, right, and we're entering the other hole of the same Superduo you are coming out from, just like that. Pull your thread. Now pick up your 3 millimeter and enter the other Superduo, the other hole of the Superduo. So the thread is coming into this hole and we're entering the other hole, right, just like that, so that your crystal or pearl exactly between the Superduos. Now pull your thread, and this is what you get. Okay, so you got bottom Superduo, 2 3 millimeters, and the top Superduo. Now pick up your outer Superduo, and I'm using bronze color Superduo, just like that. Slide it down. It's going to be a little bit confusing, but you will see the pattern soon. Enter the other hole of the outer superduo. The other hole. Okay. Pull your thread. Now we are going to pick up our inner superduo, 3 millimeter, and inner superduo. So I'm going for orange superduo, my bicone, and my orange superduo. Just like that. Slide them down. Okay. This is what you get. Now pick up the outer superduo. Okay, this is what we have. Now enter the other hole of the outer superduo, just like that. Pull your thread. And now we are going to enter this hole of the other superduo, of the inner superduo. Let's just, if you can go through superduo, crystal, and another superduo, just like me. And also, if you can go through all four, because you need to come out of this bottom outer superduo. So if you can do it, then do it, but you can do step by step. And if we pull our thread, you will see what actually happened now. So we've got inner rows of superduos connected by outer superduo at the bottom and at the top. Now we're coming out of this bottom superduo, we're entering the other hole, and if you can, go through the next inner superduo, 3 millimeter, and inner superduo, just inner superduo. Pull your thread, just like that. Now we're coming out of the top inner superduo, we're entering the other hole of this superduo. Pull your thread, just like that. Now pick up 3 millimeter and enter the other hole of the inner superduo. And this is first pattern you got. Isn't it pretty? Now pick up your outer superduo, slide it down, just like that. Enter the other hole of the same superduo you're coming out from, like that. Now we're going to build a second unit of this, and we're picking one inner superduo, one 3 millimeter, and one inner superduo, just like that. Slide them down. Okay. Pick up an outer superduo. Slide it down and enter the other hole of the outer superduo. Just like that. And if you can go immediately through the inner superduo, 3 millimeter inner superduo of the previous unit. Okay, so we're placing that outer superduo on top of this unit. Pull your thread, and this is what you get. Now enter the bottom outer superduo. We enter in the outer superduo, inner superduo, 3 millimeter, and inner superduo again to come out from the top. Now entering the other hole of the inner superduo, and now we need to place our 3 millimeter between these two inner superduos, just like that. And this is your pattern. We're gonna do one more, the beautiful pattern. Okay, we're coming out of our inner superduo. Pick up your outer superduo, slide it down, okay. Now enter the other hole of your outer superduo. Pick up one inner superduo, one 3 millimeter, one inner superduo, slide them down, okay. Now pick up your outer superduo, also slide it down, enter the other hole of your outer superduo, just like that. And now we're going into the inner superduo, crystal inner superduo, and if you can, into your bottom outer superduo to connect these two rows. Okay, I managed to go through all the beads. Once you pull it, you will see how it's all placed correctly, just like that. Now we're going into the other hole of our inner superduo, and if you can, through the now we are going into the other hole of our outer superduo, and if you can, go through the inner superduo 3 millimeter and inner superduo on the top. Right, we're going to do it one more time for you to understand the pattern. Enter the other hole of inner superduo. This time we're going to speed up a little bit. Take your 3 millimeter, place between the inner superduos. Now take your outer superduo, slide it down, enter the other hole of your superduo, like that. Now we are going to pick up one inner Superduo, one crystal or 3 mm, one inner Superduo and one outer Superduo. Okay, enter the other hole of your outer Superduo, just like that, and enter the inner Superduo, 3 mm inner Superduo, and if you can, the bottom outer Superduo from the previous row. Okay, pull it. And this is what you get. Now repeat this step till you have a desirable length of your bracelet, and I will show you how to add a clasp to your bracelet. Okay guys, I'm back. In order to add clasp to your bracelet, make sure that your bracelet finishes with 2 inner Superduos sticking out without a 3 mm between them. That's where you will be adding your clasp. Now I'm using my tail now, and on the other end I don't have it yet, as you can see, so I will just add another unit here to finish it the way I need. So I'm coming out of my Superduo, inner Superduo, and if you started like me, then you will have the same on your other end. So we picking up one outer Superduo, entering the other hole of that Superduo, just like that. Now pick up one inner Superduo, one 3 mm and one inner Superduo. Slide them down. Like that. Pick up one outer Superduo, slide it down, enter the other hole of your outer Superduo, this one, and now we are going to connect this unit to the previous row. Okay, so you enter in inner Superduo 3 mm and inner Superduo from the previous row, just like that, connected. Enter the top outer Superduo, place all beads, put all beads in place, just like that, and now entering outer Superduo, inner Superduo, 3 mm crystal, and if you can, the other inner Superduo, I just couldn't manage it, just the inner Superduo, just like that. Now you've got 2 inner Superduos sticking out on each end, and you're ready to add your clasp. We're coming out of the inner Superduo and we're entering the other hole of our inner Superduo, just like that. Now pick up your clasp. I'm using this one. I am entering it between my Superduos,
just like that. That's why I'm going into the clasp and then into the other inner Superduo. Pull your thread. This is how it goes. Now you know that when we add a clasp, we always need to reinforce it. I do minimum 3 times. Again, and we reinforce it using only inner Superduo. So we're going around these beads, your clasp, tops inner Superduo 3 millimeter, bottom inner Superduo, and then clasp again 3 times minimum. My clasp is quite heavy, so I would actually go as many times as I can. Okay. So once you've done it, do the same thing on the other end, and I will see you there. I've added my clasp on the other end, and now our bracelet is ready. Look at this, how beautiful it is. If you enjoyed this project, please like it. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I'm gonna come up with new projects soon. And if you still have any questions after this tutorial, then feel free to drop me a message. And for now, I'm gonna say bye to you, keep beading and stay safe. Bye.